Welcome to Section 2 of the Introduction to Linux series. In this section, we will learn about common commands you will need to navigate a Linux system and work with files. Use caution when naming files in Linux. Unlike other operating systems such as Windows, Linux is case-sensitive for both the commands and file names. In the example shown, the user is able to work with the file named helloworld.sh, written in all lowercase letter. However, when the same command is tried with some letters capitalized, the command fails. Special characters, notably the star and the backslash characters, have special meanings to the shell and should be avoided in file names. We will discuss special characters in more detail later in this module. In general, file names should consist of alphanumeric characters only. If special characters are desired, limit yourself to period, dash, and underbar. The pwd command stands for Print Working Directory. This is useful to determine where you are in the file system as you navigate around the directories. Note that many commands in Linux are abbreviations or mnemonics to make them easier to remember. The cd command allows you to change locations within the Linux file system. The most common usage is to follow the command with the name of the directory you would like to change to. The directory can be specified as either an absolute or a relative path. A number of shortcuts exist. Dot represents the current working directory. Dot dot indicates one directory up in the file system hierarchy. Dash represents the previous directory that was cd'd from. And if I use the cd command with no argument, it will automatically take me back to the user's home directory. The ls command is used to list out the contents of a directory. When used without arguments, the contents of the current working directory are displayed. Common arguments used with the ls command are -l, which shows the directory contents in long format showing the permission, owners, file size, and date modified. The -h option makes the file sizes human readable in kilobyte, megabyte, and gigabyte. -R recursively lists subdirectories, as shown in this example. We are currently looking at the contents of the present working directory, represented by dots, and also by the subdirectory tester. -A shows hidden files. In Linux, a file is considered hidden if the first character is a dot, followed by the rest of the name. So for example, .source would be considered a hidden file. -D shows information for the directory requested instead of the contents of the directory. To find out the permissions on the current working directory, I could say ls-d dot. Another way to show directory contents is the tree command. Unlike the ls command, which displays files in a flat list, the tree command displays files in a tree format to see objects nested within subdirectories. To make it easier to work with multiple files, you can use the star character to match one or more characters. In the first example on the slide, the command is ls testfile star, which will match any name that starts with testfile and ends with any other characters. In this case, it matches testfile A, testfile B, and testfile C. If you need to remove the meaning from a special character and just want the literal character, you can remove or escape the character with the single or double quotation marks, or the backslash character. Do not confuse the single quotation mark with the backtick, which is on the same key as the tilde. The single quotation mark is an escape character, while the backtick performs command substitution, which is a more advanced topic. Special characters are a feature of the shell, not the commands. So these special characters can be used in other types of shell operations as well, such as scripting. If you need a new directory, you can create it with the makedir command. If you need any intermediate subdirectories, the -p option will create them for you automatically if they do not already exist. To remove a directory, use the rmdir command. As a safety precaution, rmdir only works in empty directories. If you're trying to remove nested subdirectories, you can use the -p option to remove the subdirectories in order before the parent directories are removed. To make a copy of a file, use the cp command. The command syntax is cp followed by the source file, then the destination. If the destination is a directory, the copied file will be created with the same name. If you're trying to copy a directory, use the -r option to recursively copy the contents of the directory as well as the directory itself. To change the location of a file or directory within the file system, use the mv command. The order of arguments for mv is source name followed by destination, just like with cp. If the destination is a directory, the file will be moved with the same name that it had before. However, if a different name is specified in the destination, then the file will be renamed as it is moved. The rm command is used to delete files. Be careful, there is no undo option for this command. Once a file is deleted, it is gone permanently. If you wish to remove a directory, use the -r option to recursively delete the contents of the directory and then the directory itself. To quickly do a screen dump of a text file, use the cat command. Output is displayed to the Linux standard output, which defaults to the screen in Linux. With the less command, you can take a look at the contents of a file one page at a time. Often, files are larger than can be displayed on a single screen. If you use the cat command on a large file, the contents will scroll by too quickly for you to read. An alternate to cat is the less command. The less command displays one screen of data and then pauses, allowing the user to choose when to advance to the next screen. The controls are spacebar to advance one full screen, return to advance one line at a time, and B to go back one page. The less command can also be used to manage screen output. The vertical bar character is used to take the standard output from a command and feed it into another command. In this example, the command ls will show more information than can fit on one screen. Using the vertical pipe to send the standard output to the less command will allow you to view one page of output at a time. If you just want to see the first few lines of a file, use the head command. By default, the head command shows the first 10 lines of a file. If you want to specify a different number, use the -n option. As shown in this example, we can say head-n2 on the Etsy Network Interfaces file to just see the first 2 lines of that file. On a similar note, you can use the tail command to look at the last few lines of a file. By default, tail shows the last 10 lines of a file, but you can use a -n option like you did with the head command in order to show a different number of lines. Another useful option is the -f option, which will follow a text file. It initially shows the last 10 lines of the file, but then displays any new lines added to the file in real time. The grep command is a filter used to look for characters within a specific file. It can also be used in conjunction with the pipe character to look at standard output and find specific patterns. Two common options are -v, which inverts the search and only shows lines that do not match the search pattern, and -i, which ignores the case, making the command case insensitive. To access a remote system, you can use the SSH client. Most Linux distributions will have an SSH client pre-built into the environment. For a remote login, you can specify just a hostname as the argument. This will allow you to log into the remote system using the same username that you are logged in with locally. To log in as a different user, specify the name @hostname instead. If you just want to run a command on the remote host without fully logging in, you can add that command to the end of this SSH line in order to run a command on that remote host as a specified user. In our example, ssh cumulus @leaf2 ls/home/cumulus will run an ls command on /home/cumulus on leaf2 as the cumulus user. The SSH connection will require you to know the password of the user you are logging in as. An alternative method is to configure the systems to verify access rights using SSH keys. The secure copy, or SCP command, is used to move files between two SSH-enabled hosts. It uses the same SSH protocol and authentication methods as the regular SSH client. The syntax of the command line is the same as the standard CP command, source followed by destination. Files on the remote system can be used for either source or destination. Simply prepend the remote file path with username @remote-hostname : in order to access that remote directory. Using absolute paths is recommended to guarantee that you are working with the correct files. If at any time you want more detailed information about these commands, Linux has a built-in reference manual known as the man pages. Simply type in the word man followed by the command that you want more information of. It will display in a less typed format that allows you to page through one screen full at a time in order to get more information about all the options possible with this particular command.